All right, time to do an analysis on my fight against Someadviser. So, uh, for a long time, I was on a. I don't want to make it sound cringy, but I was on a pretty large win streak. I haven't lost a fight as leader, and that's primarily because I've had better teammates abuse the morph garage, since the hellish morph is really strong, or on adrenaline I'll have them use tank morph, which pretty much stuns anytime it hits a player. Anyway, so I recorded this video. It's a bit later than I'd like. I started recording because I realized, hey, I'm fighting against the developer. Maybe he's actually good. This fight this fight might actually go on for a while. And it did. Yeah, it went on for longer than an hour. And so by this time I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drills over here, or not 6, 5 over here, 5 over here. So I think I'm halfway done upgrading all of these. And let's get into it. I don't know if I'll be able to change the audio channel for this one. I know the audio is a little off. It just won't play in general. Anyway, so I see that he has multiple spawners. I'm checking out his base. He doesn't have full eco yet like I do. I'm still working on upgrading. I'm trying to upgrade as soon as possible. I'm leveling up my SP. I think I'm SP level 4 right now. And what I'm doing is trying to keep SP gain from going to its cap, because you're losing out on a vital resource. But I'm also balancing economy so that I can maintain a snowball effect throughout the entire early game for me to throw at him in mid game. Of course, I did not foresee something he would do, which will come soon. Yeah, I'm just typing an idea because people say I do some crazy stuff pretty early game, but I might actually do that. I don't know. I think that's pretty funny. Miners, when they're upgraded, you sell them and they sell for 3k, and that's pretty good. And it's a strategy I use to get nuke before he does, because I actually go in the hole a bit when it comes to economy. Because of a certain rush he used on standard, I'm used to adrenaline. So I usually spam amples. I accidentally do it on here when I really shouldn't be, because they're very easy to. Their blades are really easy to steal. So I get this early rush on me. I haven't had an early rush on me for so long because I've had better teammates. I think the enemy team has a higher rank overall. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm sort of panicking here, but trying to keep my cool. I'm trying to maintain. See, I was at, let's see, what was I at? Yeah, I was at 900, so I maxed it out. That's something I avoid doing. It happens because your attention, yeah, that's a long time for it to sit. So these guys are breaking walls. Luckily the gates are pretty strong, but it looks like they got it rusted, and I don't want it to break if they do get through, because I might have my attention elsewhere. So I upgrade the town hall so that I can start factories and put in tanks. Again, the strategy I use works 10 times better on adrenaline than it does on standard because of all the impossible abilities. So yeah, I'm just trying to delay them while I'm building my economy, letting my teammates get to them. So I spawned some amples. Like I said, for something went through my mind, like, hey, I could probably get away with it, but it eventually ends up biting me, and I'm luckily able to save myself and maintaining that SP gain, making sure all my drills are leveled up. Yeah, we should be good. but I think I then have a peek over to what he's going to be doing. I'm spawning some amples, and I think most of my teammates are dead. They're just respawning. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, if they rush again, what am I gonna do? I'm still waiting for my economy to build since I have nothing. I can't really do anything except hope my team can. Hoping my team can delay them for a little longer while I try to get omegas. Yeah, so I go for omegas instead of regular tanks like I usually do on adrenaline because of their stun effect. But here I just skip straight to omegas because their value is a lot more on standard. So, typical 4-factory design. Yeah, I don't really focus on defenses in my base. I probably should, but I'm really focused on economy. If something does happen, sure, my economy can slow down a bit. Peeking over here, he's got factories up. I see that, and I think that's kind of weird. My assumption is he's trying to keep up with me because I've got all my drills set up. I'm underestimating what he can do. Yeah, see, because the entire time they were fighting, I was trying to stay productive. And again, I think I end up setting out more amples when I shouldn't. No, we're good. So I send out some megas because they have higher HP. One thing I don't like about this map is that you cannot really use artillery units as effectively as I'd like. Usually what I do is I would spawn the 3 omegas and then spawn the 3 catapults. I mostly play zombies. I end up accidentally buying a different power up at the bottom here because they're arranged differently for either side, and I'm just muscle memory. So I try to get this out. So far my team hasn't yelled at me to upgrade anything, which is good. Usually I have a morph garage, but this time I don't because the enemy team is a higher rank and I don't have as much faith in my team as I probably should. Yeah, see, I end up buying a droplet for money bags, which is usually what actually would be drop turret. I always get drop turret early game in case something happens. So level 9 SP, and we're still early game relatively. Yeah, I usually get really angry when people say, oh, don't send amples, you know, enemy team's gonna use it against us. Like I said, I'm used to adrenaline. If you keep them grouped together, they should be fine. I have a single spawner here. They don't group together that well. I don't know what I was thinking. But luckily they didn't abuse it too much. My team kept up the pressure enough and abused bomb spear because it's a good weapon, I guess. Yeah. So keeping up the tank spam, or the pressure at least. I'm not really looking to kill or anything. I'm trying to focus on my SP and my economy, but also keeping the pressure on him. And this entire time, I'm not paying attention to Someadviser because I underestimate his abilities. I see him spawn like a whole bunch of sword zombies, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? But what he's really doing is building up his spawn points to spawn a whole bunch of giants, and I did not foresee this coming. I usually see giant rushing in early game. See, he has a whole bunch of level 1 tanks. I see a whole bunch of that giant rush and adrenaline because when they see a target from a distance away, they seem to charge at it, and it's much more efficient that way for them to get to their destination quicker, and it's effective for rush. But I underestimate the speed at which giants can walk, just regular NPC speeds, and so it ended up biting me because I was not focusing on what he was doing at his base. I was doing my own thing, really just underestimating him. Right now I'm relatively cool. like this happens, I can place more gates. My spawn points are doing pretty fine. And I have a little trick up my sleeve to counter what he's attempting to do. Or not counter, but it's just my general strategy. If my team is, I don't want to say it, but incompetent, but not in that like we might be outnumbered, outranked, outmatched. It's a little risky because you end up burning eco in the beginning, but it does alleviate a lot of pressure when it's pulled off. And I pulled it off at the perfect time because well, I don't want to spoil it yet. So right now I'm just deleting rusty gates and making sure my eco's doing fine. I know it's somewhere in the thousands. I still want to maintain at least around 600 for tanks, because tanks can be a little expensive, standard or adrenaline. So I see this guy. I know he has giant blade because Titlelands was complaining about him. I throw one missile at him, he's fine, but I throw it behind him and it should do enough damage so that Tato can, I think it's Tato, he can bomb spear him. Yeah, no, it's some other guy. Oh, it's Pawner, yeah. So yeah, he's wondering what's going on. I'm doing my usual spam. I'm doing some Hellfires because I see they're coming into my base, and if they're keeping up the pressure like this, I might as well spawn artillery units because it's gonna kill them regardless. Better that way. You know, it's more open viewed. It's when they get into the mid section is when they become useless, so you got to be careful about that. Yeah, sure. That's my explanation. He's just wondering why Bomb Spear killed him. He complains a lot in game, but I don't blame him. I do too. The game gets pretty unfun for him. So right now I'm 16 SP, just viewing at what's going on, and I don't see the giant spawners. If you go back here, there are one. Oh jeez. There's 5 spawners over there. There's 5 giant spawners. And I didn't see this. I was overconfident. I see myself, I'm pushing. I'm like, okay, I'm doing fine. I can build more SP. I end up leveling up Town Hall so that I can be ahead of the game for when I maximize my SP and can spawn brutes. And I usually get max SP mid game, and by that time I have 2 brutes on the battlefield. Oh yeah, incoming giants. Yeah, I see that and I'm like, okay, that's not that bad. Again, I underestimate their speed. I assume they don't charge. They're a lot fast. They're just as fast as their charge. So I send some amples. I don't know how they die. I think they just get overwhelmed because he sends a lot of giants. So keeping up the spam. Around this point, I'm gonna place giant spawners, but for some reason I don't. I think it's because I'm getting pretty low on eco right now, and here comes the first round of giants, and I forgot to upgrade the infantry spawners, so the giants are coming through pretty quick, and I can't spawn enough to counter that, and I don't even know how many there are. This what I just did there, you never want to do against giant spam. I didn't think there were going to be a lot. I saw gunfire, so I assumed he might have sent soldiers or tanks, and so I used crushers as because they're really tanky. But the problem with crushers is giants haymaker them and can two-shot them because they're right at chest height. And see, there's all the giants. I begin panicking a little bit. See, so I thought, hey, maybe these crushers will help, and I remembered, oh no, they don't, because I've played as crusher against a giant and ended up getting whacked. So, you know, a lot of gameplay on the field is really necessary as a leader, so you understand how units work in their interactions with other NPCs up close. So he goes here and bombs me early. I don't know why. I just gonna demolish. I think he just really wants to end me super quickly. Oh, yep, my crushers got beat to death. He just spawned. Look at that. Haymaker, haymaker, dead. I think it's actually a 3-shot, but they're dead. It doesn't matter. And I realized that and start spawning apples. And at this point, I'm kind of nervous. You know, I'm not keeping up my spawn rate. I was too focused on what they were doing. And luckily, forts are extremely HP dense. They have as much HP, if not more, than the town hall. So what I end up doing is I just make a layer. I make sure to keep the gunner ports away from where they are facing so that they do not jump through them. That way, because you can easily just sword spin through them, and forts are useless that way. Other than that, you can use them to block things. So yep, even more giants. It really timed his ballistas really well, and I was surprised. Right now I'm getting pretty close to my SP. I put back a giant spawner soon, because I realize I'm SP level 19, I believe. So I see that I'm not keeping up the spawn too well. Yep, just making it more of a slog. If I wanted to, I could have done this for as long as I wanted to, but I placed 2 more forts if they decided to break the walls, and then I just placed walls and pretty much just hope my constant spam of giant blade wins. So yep, there I go for the giant spawner, because I realized what my SP was. Level 20. I'm getting pretty close, and this is the point where I used a little trick up my sleeve, because my team isn't doing so well. They only have a level 2 shop. And that's probably one of my other mistakes, leaving my teammates in the dust. I don't really put much faith into them when I'm using the strategy, other than early game. Oh wait, no, he has hammer. Yeah, we're good. So yeah, teammates actually do a lot of work for me. So I'm already sending out a crusher unit early. It's more earlier than I'd want to. But the issue is, oh, and right there I see that he was bombing, he was bombing my generator, and I didn't want him to end up nuking my base with that. But I see that he oh, what was it? Oh yeah, myself, I spawned a crusher before I maxed out my SP, which is something I usually tend to avoid, but I understand that brutes, that's what they are. I didn't mean to say crusher. Brutes, they're 625 SP, and I reckon they're gonna get a nerf or an increase in SP cost, so I wasn't too worried about it. I usually max out SP, send out 2 brutes, and then just 3rd brute, repeat, tanks. But here I had to do it early because I see there's ballista and there's players, crushers. So I'm level 21 right now, and this is where I need to do the little trick. So they're getting through the wall. I'm gonna place more layers, I think. I'm trying to see how well he's doing. I see his HP goes down really fast. Yeah, from the crushers. They do surprisingly quite a lot of damage, but they end up getting 1-tapped. And The walls there were good because they distract giants. Giants tend to want to run after walls and gates. So that's why they were all broken there. I usually put those there to keep players from hiding behind it and trying to cheese into my base. So yeah, he's half HP already. And I think it's from the Omega. Yeah, I place another layer there in case that one breaks as it's demolishing. I end up setting up my next row of gates because I'm feeling pretty confident here. He wasted all, not wasted, but used a lot of SP. Here, trying to keep up spam. Used a lot of SP on giants early game. I don't know if he has maxed SP. I don't know what level he's at. I think he's less than what I'm at because I go for SP super early in the game. Like by the time I got 2 miners, I spent SP or bought SP level. But here we are. Send out, or I don't send out anything except spam units. Waiting for ISP to go up. But I realize I'm kind of in the hole right now. And I might have to put the forts back in place. So he's got siege unit meteors, so he was really set on having me like confident I was dead. But no. See, what I admire about him is he has a failsafe. He could have sent all those giants out really much earlier in the game, I think, or a little bit earlier, or solely focus on a few more giants, and that'd be like his only thing. If I were to survive that, then that'd mean he has nothing against me, because I'm already at this level right now. I'm at level 19 SP from the time he's spammed giants. So I'm sending out amples. Looks like we're pushing against them. The MLRS is actually really strong in this map for some reason. I usually doubt artillery in siege artillery because they just, once they get to the middle of the map, they kind of get useless. But yeah, I tell my teammates I maxed my SP. Just barely crawling by. I set my forts aside in case anything happens again. I start cleaning up and I just sit back. I'm fine. I pretty much, it's mid game and I've got max SP and I've already sent out crushers. So I'm a little confused how he was able to quickly recover from that spam. I guess he was uncontested for a while and was able to just build eco. Because I noticed his team states how a shop upgrade would be nice. So he's running a similar strat to me. And yeah, just building up my defenses. I got AA all set up. I don't know if there's anything else I do that's quite special. Other than that, we're approaching end game. And I need a bank upgrade because I'm gonna be researching nuke because destructs fucking suck in this game. So I look over at his base. He's spawning. I think those are officers. Officer spam used to be really good, but yeah, what can I say? So get my usual setup here. I'm still really surprised I made it this far. I don't know. Maybe I didn't see it, or I did it really fast. I don't think I've done my strategy yet, because I know I'm behind on eco because I had to spend points on SP and to level it up to max and to spawn a crush or spawn a brute. I don't know how many times I've said crusher when it's a brute. Oh jeez. I'm a little saddened that brutes will be nerfed since, well, I guess they are pretty broken, but you can be a really self-sufficient leader on your own with just brute spam. Oh, advisor talking about how much I panicked there and how I might have lost eco or SP, but actually as I was multitasking there. I wasn't multitasking. I was swapping between. I can't multitask that well, but I can try my best to switch my focus as quick as I can. So yeah, he has his doubts, but I think he underestimates me as a player too, because I'm used to developers not being actually good at their own game, and I'm a little competitive. But this one was an interesting fight because I've been so far undefeated with this strategy. I see he has nuclears, but I'm not too scared because brutes pretty much destroy them. I think that nuclear ends up blowing up, but I have yeah, he ends up blowing up and all my officers I just spawned there went to waste. It's tragic, but max SP. Brutes are super cheap. Just keep sending them. And I shouldn't have any problems at my doorstep. Yeah, so I noticed he's gonna get nuke. I was looking at his eco. See right here, he's already at 23k. I've been keeping tabs on it throughout the game after the Giants, because once I saw that, I knew he was not just an average player. So I'm at 11k, he's at 23k, and this is where I do my make or break. I'm approaching my make or break moment. So I'm trying to find out what units to spawn. I end up fiddling through this list a lot because I'm not used to the new pictures. I'm always used to zombies. I don't really like the color scheme of noobs or the sound effects because I don't know, they just hurt my ears a little. Yeah, it seems like there might be an issue with nuclears not going off as they should, because he kind of, yeah, there's times where nuclear just should go off and he doesn't. He seems to play noobs a lot too, since I call them just nuclears. I refrain from spawning nuclears. I'll sometimes do if I have a bit of the upper hand. But really, they're just good for DPS. Or eliminating players. So, I only got a population of 8 on the battlefield. I don't know what to spam. I just don't know what to send out. So I guess I send some more officers since he blew all 9 up. You know, officers or pirates aren't that good anymore because they can't one-tap headshot players like they used to. I used to spam officers a ton and it just shoved them all the way back to their gates because players get sniped by them when they're close range. They're really HP dense, and they're still HP dense, but their damage sucks now. They're not that good anymore, but they are good for distracting brutes when they send them. Only problem is 50 is a bit expensive for something that does really garbage damage, but they're good for overwhelming in a way, and they're fast like crushers. I usually avoid crushers because I think crushers have less HP but more damage resistance compared to, yes, Pawners complaining about the brutes, rightfully so, because it's really bad. But honestly, that was a really good comeback. I was really close to crumbling right there. If I wasn't set in stone of what I was planning on doing, if I wasn't confident. Anyway, he bought his nuke and I bought my nuke. And the thing about nuke is when it's on cooldown, by the time it's done on cooldown, you should have 10k or 12k. And So by the time my cooldown is over, he should be able to almost afford his nuke at 16k, because his cooldown would be over already. So this is where my strategy comes in. It brings me behind more than I like because he's ahead on eco, but I end up doing fine. At this point, I'm not overestimating the developer at all. This guy knows what he's doing. He's pretty much got the same strat as me. So I get my nuke out. Oh, and it was so fast I wasn't even paying attention. So I realized this. My nuke is almost on cooldown. I could have waited a little longer, but I was a little antsy because he's at 14k already. And so I'm at 8k and I sell 3 of my drills. I probably only needed to sell 2 if I just waited for it to go off cooldown. That was a bit of wasted economy, but I really wanted to get that nuke out because I see it approaching fast. And yep, I guess it is merited that I sell 3. And I get my nuke. It's 262 seconds. I put it at the front instead of the back because I highly doubt with this many players that they're going to breach pass. And I just realized they actually have less skill rating than us, but I'm level 40 and Someadviser's level 15, so technically they do have higher rank. I don't know if I just said skill, but they do have a higher rank. I just did this after I'm starting doing this video after the battle and I'm getting pretty tired, so it was like 3 a.m. when the game finished. It would be 4 a.m. for Someadviser, so he's probably asleep by now or awake. So I check out his base and I see he placed his nuke. Mine's at 224 seconds, his is at 240, and I'm pretty much fine. If everything goes properly, my nuke, it wouldn't hit him first, because by the time mine lands and hits his would have launched already. And so at this point I realized something, and I might actually have to see if I can distract his nuke. Now the best way, so I get my economy up, but the best way to distract a nuke is just to send MLRS. For some reason the nuke goes after MLRS only, and armored units more nukes ignore brutes. I learned that the hard way. Actually, another guy learned it a hard way because I had no idea, but he was sending brutes and I had a nuke silo and sending brutes, and they just went straight for his base. So at this point I realized, oh, I could probably save up for a hero, because I was like, okay, heroes are HP dense, they're gonna go after it. Well, brutes are HP dense too, so what's the problem? Well, I'm mistaking it for a destruct. Destructs go after heroes, so if you want to distract several destructs and your base isn't totally demolished, what you could do instead, because I'm building up my SP right now, is send a hero and all the destructs will just chase after it and blow up away from your base. It's kind of convenient, but on this map it's risky because my hero gets knocked off the map several times and I kind of panic about it. See, it's not quite yet. I think I do it when his nuke is around 70 seconds. Yeah, when hero falls off the map or runs into the water, he respawns at my place, so really if the nuke were to go off at that time, it'd be going off at my base. That would not be a pleasant time. So I'm at 90 seconds on my nuke. I'm starting to save up because I realize his nuke is also going to launch in 100 seconds or 90. And I'm looking at these heroes and I'm like, man, they're getting a lot more attention than zombies. I got a muscular noob, a buyer noob with some ladies. I guess zombies are fine because they're pretty menacing. One guy tries sneaking to my base, which is, I think, is kind of funny. I think that might be Pawner. No, his name was Seagull Slime. But, eh. I don't know what his strategy was going on here. He bombed my factories. At this point, I don't need four factories. I don't know why I do 4 factories because Omega Spam is nerfed. I just do it because it's cheap. But more power to him because he's wasting eco. I don't use airstrikes ever unless they have a lot of tanks. So yeah, I sold a lot of my eco for nuke. I don't remember why I did. I think I did it again so I could get my hero up and ready as fast as possible. I do it. I do things so fast. I just don't see him. That and I'm tired. So I see he spawns nuclear. Not too worried. Since one nuclear doesn't insta kill hero. A hero survives for quite some time throughout this game. So yep, my nuke goes for mid-map, probably because they had so many armored units. I'm a little upset about that, and I foresaw it because I sent the hero. But at this point, I realized I might have made a mistake. And I'm gonna have to reconsider because his nuke is coming in, and I got lucky. Really lucky. For some reason, nukes like to hit right there. There's nothing there. My nuke does it too. There's nothing there whatsoever. Anyway, hero should be coming back. I don't know, I think he's actually dead this time because he got nuked twice. Whoops. Anyway, returning to the spam. He's sending AA and it's kind of annoying. I don't mind it too much though. But I put more turrets down in case he tries to missile strike my economy. I wasn't sure if he was that kind of player. For some reason, he lets me missile strike hit one of his nuke silos. And he doesn't seem to complain about that. See, I see he puts a nuke silo at the top left if you guys didn't see it. Right here he's gonna place one. I think he places it the second I look away. Yep, right there. Yeah, I think I see it out of the corner of my eye and I peek over his base somewhere. And so I have nukes before he does. Now I remember I sold my drills to get my second nuke because he is ahead. And my cooldown would have been done by now. But his eco would have been higher than me. So right now, the only thing I have ahead of him is SP. So I send out some crusher units because they're tanky. I don't know what else to spam. There's nothing spam in this game except strong units. And all I can hope now is I don't forget to spawn units. So I hear him launch. Every once in a while he's gonna try and airstrike my factories for some reason. He probably doesn't like my Omega spam and MLRS once I start spawning it. But I just move them out of the way. I think he said lol because one of his nuclears went off. No. I don't think he had a nuclear. At this point, I have 2 nuke silos. Why not buy some SP? Because I'm getting pretty behind so far. I spawned another hero because I don't know why I did. It's so dumb. I see he has 2 nukes. I still think, for some reason, at this point, that his nuke silo is going to go for my hero, but it just doesn't work. That only destructs do. I don't know what was going through my head at the time. It was 2 a.m. by this time. So I see he bombs my factories. I forgot to move them, but I don't really care that much. I'll just make new ones. More power to him if he feels. I mean, it takes what, 3 airstrikes to break a factory. Factories cost 250 plus 100. Cheap. Anyway, one of my nukes goes off. And at this point, I realize it's just going to go for the mid there. And I kind of just keep up the spam because this game is not going to end anytime soon. It's just going to keep on. But things do change throughout the game. It starts to get a little bit more tense. My lack of eco, or not eco, I have a lack in something. Yeah, hero gonna get me killed. I said that because when the nuke went off, he fell in the water and he respawned at base, and our nukes and his nuke silos are really close to launching. So the last thing I want is just him to be there at the wrong place at the wrong time. And at this point, I don't rely on my hero because he's beginning to become a liability, a high risk, because he falls in the water again. He's just gonna get my town hall direct nuked. So one of my other nukes goes off. I don't have much hope for this one because I know nuke. Yep, it just goes right for the mid there. I don't know why. There's no reason to. They usually never go after brutes. They usually go for gates. So at this point, I realized, okay, my nuke's not gonna hit. I'm just gonna start researching airstrike and go after his silo because it's right out in the open. I don't know why he put it there. He probably wanted to have decreased time, but yeah, more power to him. I don't know, I was just really surprised at how excellent of a leader he is. I am pretty much at his base most of the game. Here comes his other nuke. And I realized it didn't go after my hero, and at that point, I think for real I learned. Because the idea was, oh, I'll be fine, it'll go after the hero, which has no units near it. No, that's not what happens. So at this point, his other nuke's about to go off. I think it's like 5 seconds right now. And yeah, it's 0 seconds now. So he says that silos count as armored units. So it is armored units that do bait nukes. So you always want to spam MLRS. And I just do that. And it just distracts nuke. It's all right. It's an okay strategy. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't complain about it. He complains about something else, which was a little trivial to me. Anyway, I still have my boss pad. I probably should have sold it if I needed money, because I'm not going to spawn a gunship. Those things suck. The only time you should spawn a gunship is if the entire enemy team has miniguns and they're just at their walls defending. So what you do is you spawn gunship, but before you spawn gunship, you send... My bad. So you wait for SP gain, you spawn gunship, then you spawn destruct, and they have a choice of shooting down the gunship, which will kill them if they don't shoot at it, or shooting at the destruct. It's kind of a decent strategy. You need brutes at their gates too. You have to have them really pressured and distracted to get a destruct through their walls, but at this point, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. I need to keep up spam. I mean, to keep using armored units and just keep dodging nukes, because that's all I can do at this point. I have one nuke, he has 2. Dodge a bullet. I need to dodge a bullet twice. So here the MLRS is actually working really well for some reason. I've never seen them have that kind of range before on this map, because they usually just don't shoot until they're in the middle. But even he comments on how good they were. And yeah, for real. Kind of a blessing, really. Anyway, so he must be saving up for something big. He hasn't spawned any units yet. He's been pretty pressured so far. His teammates have Yeah, one of my other nukes goes off, and I technically would have hit his base if he didn't have anti-air. So at this point, I technically would have won, but it blew up in the air. I realize he might be saving up for something. Yeah, the only way a nuke would blow up in the sky like that is if one guy or two guys with a minigun are shooting at it, and you have 7 Gatlings and 1 generator, or just 6 Gatlings and 2 miniguns, and it'll blow up in the air, and should be okay. So at this point, I realized, okay, I'm gonna need a way, if this is gonna keep happening, to distract his Gatling so the minigun guys can't do what they want. Anyway, so here at this point, I realize, oh hey, I could have gotten a destruct through. So I begin saving up for, I end up letting my economy max a couple times by accident, but at this point I realized that I probably should get some destructs, or a destruct, because I have quite a bit of SP right now, and I'm at 28k. I'm still worried about his nukes, so I'm saving money to distract nukes. Right now they're both lined up. I'm not stressed at all. I see my MLRS tanks are at the front lines at this point. I'm surprised they didn't die yet. But MLRS tanks are really good at baiting nukes, and if they die, you die. So they're your ticket out to a nuke, basically. So I've got quite a bit of SP. I see his nuke's gonna go off. I'm a little worried because, you know, there's 3 brutes right there. I don't know if my MLRS tanks are still alive. They end up being alive because it nukes right there again. And then I place another one to distract his other nuke, which I did barely in time, because once that timer hits 0 seconds, I don't know if it's decided what its target was, but it seems by the moment it launches that's when it knows. So I saw my silo, bullet dodged. Now it's my turn for my nuke to go off, because it's got about hundreds. Now it's got less than 20 seconds. So again, more spam, send out more units, amples. I just wish I wish there was different levels of auto spawn. I guess that'd be a little busted. I don't know what I do here. I shouldn't be doing that, because his AA can take down my missiles and planes. I should be doing them simultaneously. And so, yeah, I wish there was a different selection of automatic spawn where it doesn't spawn really heavy, crappy units like full officers, full crushers, when it really shouldn't, and just burns through your SP like you have nothing left. But I think that'd be a little too busted, I suppose, because I mean, you gotta keep some skill with it, right? Oh well. Yeah, so my nuke's about to go off. 30 seconds. I researched droplet helicopter so that the Gatling A would be distracted. And for some reason, I don't know why, but Someadviser didn't like that very much. Out of all the things that I've done in this game that are kind of Fox-like, he doesn't like the fact that I spam choppers to distract his AA for a nuke. I guess he had priority intended, but after this match he is going to add priority, so you cannot distract AA from nukes by using helicopters and planes. But like placing nuke then selling it, that's pretty fucking cheap in my book. But he doesn't seem to mind. So even then, I was hoping I'd go for his base, but he must have had armored units going through, and I'm just like, please end this game already. Like, holy shit, please. This is really annoying. So again, I have to set up another strategy. Dutch 2 nukes because they're about to go off simultaneous. I'm not so worried about simultaneous nukes because you could just wait before you sell it because both nukes will hit the same spot. I think that's pretty funny. Yeah, nukes. People don't like nukes. I don't like their priority settings, but hey, that's just me. I'm playing as leader. If I was a player, I probably wouldn't like my town hall nuked by early game nuke, because that's not fun. Anyway, I realize I probably won't have to two nukes. I could probably end up taking out one of his nukes because he doesn't use hammer noobs to repair it at all. I think he knows hammer noobs are, or hammer zombies are broken and don't repair that well. They stop repairing after a little bit. Anyway, I sent a destruct. I don't know why I did. It's so dumb. I think it's because my SP was starting to get really high and I needed something. I sell that because I realized, hey, he's just gonna nuke me, and so here's what happened. I have like 5,000 for almost 5,000 SP. I spawn a destruct because I had too much SP. I could have probably not done that and instead just spawn nuclears. Nuclears have more value than destructs at that point, but even then I probably could have held out just a little bit longer. The only reason I sold that was because the destruct runs really fast and you just be running into a nuke, because I know for a fact I'm gonna place a nuke silo in the middle of the map again, sell it, and destruct's gonna be standing right where that silo is gonna blow up. And so I wasted SP thinking I could probably get it back if I sold that. I was wrong. I might as well just kept it going. So that's something I learned really fast. So 0, place, boom, bang, rip all my MLRS and my giant brute who's halfway there. He spawns planes to distract my AA, I think he thought he was kind of clever, but planes just suck. They don't do anything. They're kind of annoying, but you just forgive and forget, I guess. I have nothing against you. Upgrade spawner, repeat giant brute spam. Probably get MLRS back onto the field. Oh, I sent a destruct here. I don't know why. He ends up dying halfway through the map because of minigun. Again, I'm panicking. I have too much SP because I just sent out powerful units and that's it. Yeah, see, I realized I didn't spawn an MLRS. So yeah, there's mistakes that are to be had. There could be optimizations. Every game is learning. No matter what, if you win, surely you recognize that, hey, I made a few mistakes and this game could have ended earlier if I did this instead of that. It's usually how games go. Always analyze your wins and your losses. So yep, he ends up having a destruct. I didn't see that destruct spawn at all, but his died. I thought it was mine that died, but I realized mine just spawned in. I was like, okay, I have a little hope because my giant brute's halfway there. But I'm wrong. He's just gonna die. At least he's a bullet sponge, I suppose, for a little bit, so my brutes get a little further. But yeah, he's already half HP. Oh, I don't think I... Eh, I, I remember, so he gets a destruct, and he's now saving up for triple destruct, which is kind of weird. I don't know why. Triple destruct's pretty useless when you have 3 brutes. Brutes, so fucking stupid. Holy shit. They're literally fucking busted. I hate to admit it, but they're just... Yeah, right now I'm distracted nuke. Yay, miss. Fun. I don't even know what was there. Omega Ballista, Meteor Hurler, Zombie Shinobi. There are 5 armored units there. Why? Huh. This game's basically over. I outplayed Someadviser, I don't know, 3 times so far now. Outplayed as in I beat him to nuke. I got brutes out first, but I guess players on the battlefield are able to kill them pretty quickly still. I know they're getting fixed, so I don't know what my strategy will be after this other than not play leader, because yeah, my economy starts to fill up because I'm seeing I don't have nothing else to spend it on. I have too much SP, but sending out destructs is a freaking waste because there's no reason. You spawn them, they're just gonna die before they even walk, before they can even get through the freaking entrance. I just don't know what to say. Right now, his base is pretty much nothing. But I see his nuke is at 20 seconds. I'm prepared for this. I keep forgetting that I don't have 40k and coin capacity. Yay. I would upgrade the bank if it didn't mean I would lose my... I probably should have upgraded the bank for my teammates, but at this point I think everyone has everything. Boom, destruct. I did it again. I fucking did it again because boom, right there, destruct running to his death. But I mostly did it because, again, I'm beginning to max out on SP. And I have too much eco that my bank can't hold. So he ends up walking to his death. My ears get raped. So yeah, that's that. Repeat. 3 brutes on the battlefield. Scroll up, MLRS. Tank, Omegas. Oh hey, I'm low on SP. Wonder why? Oh, because I sent a destruct to his death. Quite wastefully. Because I was afraid I'd max out in SP. But hey, what else could I spawn? Nuclears? At this point, it's useless. Since they have 3 Omegas on the field and miniguns. I spawned some Hellfires because I feel like they're going to start approaching. And armored units are always lovely to distract nukes. This game is literally just nuke simulator. Can you dodge the nuke? Yes. Do you have money to dodge the nuke? Yes. Do you have spawn points to spawn more shitty units? Yes. But I pretty much won the moment I recovered and spawned brutes because I had max SP when he didn't realize that. So he wasn't entirely prepared as I said he was by this point in the game. I'm like so tempted to hit that gunship button and send in destructs, but I know it's just not gonna work. Because I got a 20-second nuke. I am pretty confident this one might actually hit now because most of his armored units are dead now. He's on his knees right now. So I go out to distract. I distract a little earlier than I like. And that's the reason why he spawned a gunship, which is really garbage. I didn't realize we've been playing so long that the stalemate breaker occurred. And so here's that. They're on their way. I have a destruct on the way. I didn't think, I don't know if you guys caught that, but I should have. Anyway, so he has 2 destructs. He gets nuked because he doesn't have any units on the field. He spawned a gunship, which is fucking useless. He could have survived that nuke, and this game would have gone on longer if he didn't do that, if he spawned more units. So at this point, it's a herb stomp. I nuke him, and my destruct comes in, and this is the ideal scenario of what should happen in a game that's gone on for this long. He's half HP, which is bizarre after everyone's been nuked. Okay, no, he's not half HP. That was just visual. But man, he didn't say GG though, so I didn't want to say GG either because that game was, there's a lot of cheese involved. It was kind of shitty, but Pawner seemed to enjoy the game. If you were paying attention to the top left chat, it was just him complaining the entire time about how he hates brutes. I'm like, sorry man, what else? So yeah, someone said that they leveled up twice, which I think is funny. Pawner has 344 kills, so he probably got an extra 200 just from this match. And this is it. That's it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you guys learned something from this match, and even though the meta might change, that it will no longer be brute spam. I don't know why people keep saying brute spam is not the meta. It won't be now that they're going to be fixed, but they're just they're cheap, they're HP dense, and they're really high damage. I don't care if you think nuclear or triple destruct. If you're able to get triple destruct, that's an obvious curb stomp, right? But brutes against a decent leader, against a decent team, bread and butter. I can't think of a more powerful combo than just 3 brutes. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the game. Thanks for watching. I don't know if I will be doing any more analysis videos. That was my win against Someadviser.